He reached for her hand, not out of lust, not to initiate anything, but just to feel close to her. She pulls away gently, maybe even unconsciously, but he felt it. If you are in a relationship or have been in one, let me just ask you a question. Have you ever reached for your partner, not in a sexual way, but just to feel close, and they pull away? Or maybe it's flipped. You felt their hand on your back, a kiss on your neck, and instead of feeling that warmth, you felt pressure. You had questions, or you felt nothing at all. That awkwardness is more common than you think. But here's what's wild. It's rarely about sex. It's about what's underneath the touch, the intention, the interpretation, and the timing. Men and women often approach touch with very different wiring. And then neither is wrong. But when we don't understand each other's views as relates to touch, we start pulling away. Hey family, welcome back to Soulful Conversations. Today's topic might make you pause. I want y'all to stick with me. It might be a little heavy, but stick with me because we're unpacking a quiet struggle that shows up in a lot of relationships. And that's when touch is confusing. Now, we probably all have been there. This is something rarely talked about in relationships until it becomes a silent storm. I've been married for almost 30 years. I'm not a therapist. I don't claim to be one. Don't play one on TV. I'm not a guru. Just a husband who's made a ton of mistakes and sat in some awkward silences, learning how to connect, to reconnect, not to repeat the same mistakes in after arguments and in quiet moments. I've been in the school of touch, and I failed the class a few times because of my misunderstanding and ignorance about touch. My wife was on something you're gonna learn today. Touch is touchy. And touch isn't just physical. It's a language, and like any language, it can be misinterpreted. I know I'm gonna get some kickback for this one, but it's been documented that most men view touching their significant other as a form of connection, comfort, and closeness, and not just always a sexual advance. For many men, that touch says, hey, babe, I miss you. Are you okay? I'm just checking in. I want to be next to you. And for many women, that same touch can be interpreted, this part right here, depending on the context, timing, emotional connection, and their current mental or emotional state. You step wrong, and you can get eyes rolled in the back of your head, or you might get one of those, hello, you have not even talked to me today. Now, I just heard someone shout that part and hit that subscribe button. But wait, there is more. The key is many women want emotional intimacy first. And when that's missing, physical touch may feel disconnected. And when there is a heartfelt connection, the body flows and follows naturally. Men and women often see touch through different lenses. For many women, touch without emotional connection can feel intrusive. And for many men, touch is a way we feel close. Even if it's one of those where you grab her and hug her and say, come here, girl. That's touch. That's our touch. But here's the kicker. Without emotional deposit, like thoughtful conversation, affection, or even a genuine how like I said earlier, how was your day? Touch can feel like a withdrawal, and no one wants to feel like a vending machine for affection. Insert touch, get results. Now, lady, if you agree with me on that, put an amen in the comment section. When there's touch, the question that comes to mind is this moment an agenda-free connection, Or is there an unspoken expectation? So, how can you tell? Just a few things I've learned. Pay attention to the pace. Is the touch rushed or hurried, or are they in the moment? Is it followed up with connection? Like I said earlier, like how you doing? Does it give you, when you ask that question, when the question's asked, do they give you space to really answer and follow up? Do they hug you and hold you? Did they stay in the conversation after asking that question? Were they really listening, making eye contact, or just checking a box, but not checking with intention? If you do that right, that's emotional deposits. And let's be real, touch at the wrong time or without context can feel like a demand. But where there's emotional closeness, that same touch feels comforting, soothing, reassuring, and even healing, and it feels good. I mean, if you're wondering why she pulled away, ask yourself, did I reach for her body before I reached for her heart? And ladies, sometimes you got to remember that quiet hand on the small of your back, the kiss on the neck is not always a lead up to sex. Sometimes it's just an intentional check in to be close. What couples need isn't more assumption, it's more conversation, more dialogue. Conversations where you ask the questions that kind of can field some of the some of the problems as it relates to touch. Questions like, um, when do you feel most connected to me? Are there moments when my touch feels like pressure? That's a good one. Um, do I need to work on the way I touch you? Now, I know those questions don't sound like sexy talk, but it's the kind of talk that makes intimate moments matter. The future state of your touching will be in a much better position, and it will build intimacy that lasts longer than any quick fix in the bed. And here's the thing, and I may have said this before, that the problem isn't desire, it's a disconnection. And the solution isn't more sex. Sorry to disappoint again. It's more conversations, more dialogue about what touch means, more presence. When a man feels rejected, not physically, but emotionally, he stops reaching. And not out of punishment. He's not trying to punish you, but it's self-preservation. And when a woman feels like she's being touched without being seen, she may withdraw too. And it's not out of spite, but self-preservation. And this is how couples drift apart and are left to their own thoughts to wonder, to question what's going on in the relationship. And so I'll say it again. The sex part is not the solution to disconnection. The conversations are. And if you have the conversation, please, 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 please don't start out with saying we need to have more sex. Try asking, how can we feel more connected? That question would do a whole lot more than the previous one. It'll be a moment of sharing, some honesty. I'm sure you'll have some laughter, and you'll feel close, and not just physical closeness. I'm old school, and the Commodores, they had it right. They sang just to be close to you, girl. That's what we're after. The quiet closeness, the emotional safety. So the next time they reach for you, feel beyond the fingertips of the touch. We don't need more performance in relationship. We need to kind of know the needs, the desires of others, and to be present in those moments. And if this spoke to you, don't just close out the video, hit the share button and share this. And don't forget to subscribe for more soulful conversations. Family, I love each and every one of you. So take care of yourselves. Keep having those soulful conversations and keep reaching. And I'll talk to you in the next conversation.